Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Lewis.
Thank you. No, that's enough. No, really, it's enough. It's Oh Christ, that really was great, but it's too much and it threw me. I'm a Jersey, New York boy, and I'm finally back after 26 years here, and I'm fucking proud to be back on this. Got so excited I went shopping today and I bought a white suit. I got flipped out. I don't know what happened. I took some time off and I was a little burned out. You might not want to believe this, but I had vaginitis. So it could happen. I took this flagellant, for the vaginal area, and I guess I had a vagina. Who cares? So old now I could care less. You know what I mean? But then I took another year off. I just sort of chilled a little bit, and I stayed in bed, and I channel surfed. I watched the Recovery Channel. That was good. Helped me out. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I still feel like a wreck of progress. I'm still screwed up, and I kept jotting down a couple of notes, and no, these are all new and improved dysfunctions. I never, I take great pride in not ever repeating a problem on any special. So, if you permit me. Oh, God, I don't know where to begin. I have so many problems here. I'm a little winded, too, coming out here. I felt like it was like a Jewish action film when I came out here. I don't do this very, there's not enough Jewish action films, I should say, more properly. I don't know what it would be, 90 minutes. Like, I got to get to the pharmacy. The trolley and the cab, and, there certainly aren't any, Jewish porn films. I mean, there'd be, the socks would be a little bit like this. And, I don't know, what would it be? Well, I don't know. You fill me up with self-doubt would probably be the... Oh, my God, to be out of L.A. And if you're watching in L.A., I'm from here. That's why. I just... Yeah. And boy, it's really... It's really nutty out there. I've been there for 20 years, and I haven't had anything, I have to go to a shrink, but I haven't had, people wake up in the morning there and say, rather than, gee, I'll have some toast and an omelet, they go, oh, Jesus, I think I'll get my rib removed. I mean, really, it's psychotic. And I had one surgical thing done. I had, to lower my expectations, when I moved out there, I went to a doctor on Rodeo Drive, and I had my hopes removed, which helped me out quite substantially. But I'm glad I'm here. I'm proud to be a comedian for 26 years, and I know why. I look back in my I don't know what it was called, like the family albums and all that shit, and the crest, the Lewis crest, were two mental patients wrestling a pharmacist. Can you imagine this? So what am I going to do? I have to be here. I lost my passion. I really want, whatever you do in life, you should really give a shit about it. Really care about it. I mean, life is precious. It's hard. But we're all here. We're alive. It's great. And after 25 years, I mean, I just, I got burned out. I mean, it got to the point as a comic, I really sucked. I mean, it was like, I didn't even want to finish jokes. I would say, boy, I was in Central Park today and it was so cold. I saw a squirrel wearing who cares? Fuck it. I don't know. I gotta admit, I just banged my penis on the piano. I did. Because I got thrown, and then I bent over, and then I got my, look, I'm in therapy, But it reminded me of, I got this flash. I went to elementary school with, hey, man. He probably was there. Tony was probably there. It was one of the days when every like homeroom would come out, And if it was like softball, football was great, or basketball. But when I saw the ropes hanging out from the gym, I have diphtheria. There's no fucking way I'm gonna do that. But it was football, so it was cool. And the guy would throw the guy. By the way, let me just initially say here that I am a moron. I try to make a living with the spoken word. I have my, I don't know how I got into college. I proudly went to the Ohio State University because I did very well. Oh, really? I did very well in other parts of the entrance exam. But one part, I screwed up so badly. It was the, I don't know if it's even called an analogy. That's, I might even ask you to help me. You look relatively intelligent. No, I don't mean that as a put down, really. But, it was like, there's questions like Rome is to a lamb chop is, I don't know, wood is to, who gives a shit? I mean, really? I just didn't know what it meant. I didn't care about those answers. I didn't know what, so I just put down, I don't care. There's a lot of angina in the family, and really. So I didn't even get a grade. Dig this, man. The governor, I don't know who it was back then, and what's the difference? Once again, unnecessary exposition. This is why I'm in therapy, But the governor, rather than give me a score, he actually wrote underneath the test, "What a fiasco." So, this, that was a thrill. Oh, so my penis, which, quite frankly, I could care less about at this point at my age. I don't even have a penis anymore. It's relocated to somewhere in Minnesota. It's in the witness protection program. It hasn't gotten me anywhere. I don't have a family. I don't have a child. I'll tell you right now, if my penis and my balls could constitute a menage a trois, I would never leave the house. Really, But anyway, so we're in this, the gym class. So I went out for a pass, and I happened to bang my penis on just sort of banged it, and it really hurt. But that was the least of it. What happened was that, I'll be too graphic here, but I had no choice, really. The tip of the penis went in. The part where it has like the hat on, like the guy on the American Express guy, the Spartacus looking guy. And for you women who don't have penises, the sensation. I'm a feminist, so don't take that the wrong way. But when the tip of your penis goes in, you feel like it's over. It's over. And I had, I wanted to die. It was it. So I did the most heroic thing I think I've ever done in my life. I pulled my pants down and my underwear in front of the entire school, and I popped out the tip of my penis. I got expelled for 5 months, and I got this letter, which I covet, by the way, at home. This letter from this schmucky principal. He wrote, "Dear Mr. and Mrs. Lewis," my parents, obviously, but your son is banished. Use the word banished like it was in Sherwood Forest, schmuck. So your son is banished for 6 months for popping, and he put this in quotes in italics, for popping his penis out. So be it, But it's fat, it's fat. Boy. Just being around here in the village, a block away, I played a club 25 years ago. We used to come here, not here, but to these open mic nights, and oh wow! Once I waited for 5 hours to go on, and there was a mirror opposite the stage, and it was 3 a.m. and everybody had gone on, and I was last, and there was no audience. And I lived in Jersey, and the manager went, so it's no one here. And the schmuck, but he actually said, not a schmuck, he was a nice guy. He said, you still want to go on? And I went, yeah. I went on. I went on to no one but my own reflection. And I was so bad, my own reflection walked out on me and asked for a check. But that was the time when, you go on the road and you stay in these motels. I mean, they make motels ads like on TV now. Look, I don't know. it's, you know, if you travel, you see guys, it's not like guys, like walking in, like dancing, like they're so exciting, like they're getting blowjobs in the room and free coffee. If they would just tilt the camera down, it'd be like rodents kicking, you know. It's crazy. You know, but I used to go to these motels that had like they were like attached to like these like really like almost frightening restaurants. No one was ever in these restaurants except like a thin, like the bartender like from The Shining, you know that. And you swore that this guy never made any money, so I would go, hi, I'm not hungry. What do you want? Take my card, and you get, you know, what do you need? I'll cash your CD. I don't have, you know, what do you need? Blue Cross, you know, really. I mean, it was the kind of place, I mean, Jesus, you go into to the John, there'd be a sign, like all employees must wash hands and feet. And you know, in the menus, there'd be flies on the pictures of the food in places like that. Jesus. In the men's room here, by the way, you know, I had this theory. I know it's I'm very anal, and pretty obvious already, I'm sure. And I haven't gone into a men's room at a restaurant, I don't know, I would say in about 12 years. And not for any perverse reason. I knock on the door, you know, and I go, is anyone in there? I go into a women's room, and the reason is because I don't think that the janitors give a shit about cleaning up the men's room, and I've documented this from being on the road for 25 years, and it's unbelievable to me. I mean, you know, the men's rooms is like, well, by comparison, the women's rooms is like, you know, there's mats, and once I saw a gypsy with tarot cards, and there was a little Monet print, but in the men's rooms is like pirates fornicating in the stalls. I tried to find the cleanest bathroom. This is, I know, look, it's a hobby. What can I tell you? I wish I could paint like Tony Bennett. You know, you always see these things like, or Tony Curtis. But you know, I look for clean Johns. It's a you know, it's a sick thing. Hopefully Betty Ford will have a wing for it. But you know, I was in Atlanta, cool city, and I had to go to the John, and I walk in, and the first thing was right away, cool. The doors, you don't use your hands. Well, I don't anyway. I walk in like a surgeon. I'm like a surgeon. I'm Ben Casey. I don't give a shit. I never touch a door. That's without even. That's like that's a no-brainer. Touch a door. There's 1 million people in that airport. Any airport. All right. Now, then I look at the sink. I check out the sink, and forget about touching this or this. I see these people. They put their hands on. They're like magic, man. That, to me, is almost like the Salk vaccine, the cat who invented the water that you put your hand there and it comes out. Whoa! The doors open by themselves. The water comes out. Now, here's something which, this is the bad part for me. I can't go into a regular store. First of all, I can't go to a urinal. I guess, you know, listen, I don't know, I have stuff in my head about celebrities, but a guy sitting he's taking a whiz, and he goes, how are you? I went to the Mayo Clinic for like a year. I came into like Elephant Man. I just shaking my hand, and he says, I have paper somewhere, and it's all over the place. So forget the urinals, you know. Particularly like in a ballpark. They're like, you know, like roosters, you know. So here it is. I'm a liberal, like I say, because I'm very uptight about this, but I hit the handicap stall, but I do it in a way which I feel less guilty. I do it like Lon Chaney and the man with 20 million faces, or whatever the hell that movie. Cagney was great in that, but you know that scene. So I literally get down and go, I am more than just a Jewish comic, and if anyone is sicker than me, I'll get out. And I do that. And if anyone is really in trouble, I'm out in a flash. I swear to God. But if no one says, I need to go in there, oh, boom, that handicap stall, with all due respect, is night and day. It's like my first college apartment. Wow, I can put a stereo here and a little bricks here. Wow, man. What a fucking apartment. I can afford this. I can have my mother. She could just live in the airport. Stay here. She can use the John, then go back to Jersey. It's fantastic. And even the ramp, you know, with all due respect, you can, if you want to do a little ab work, it's, you know what I mean? it's true. And you can hang things up. You can shower. Whenever I see people showering, it's like really unbelievable. Even doing it, just it's unbelievable. But you can do it in those stores. But here's the thing. The thing about the John is that it's bullshit. Because, I mean, I'm a hypochondriac, so that's the problem. But here are the options. The thin tissue. This is like one, I don't know what, I mean, indicated you're smart people, you know? But, you know, it's supposed to, you're supposed to put it on the John. Why, let me ask you a question. There's millions of deranged people, not even deranged, even like, say, philosophy professors, doctors, who might have a rash or a zit on their ass. Boom, they don't, you know, and you're gonna sit on that? You're gonna sit on someone else's ass? It's insanity to me. So, you know, I put the paper there, but it has this like little, I don't know if the same thing for the women, but it has this little middle piece that's, I don't know, it looks like it's almost like skin cancer thing hanging there. Like a little things you get hanging off your neck. And I don't know what it's for. Maybe is your penis supposed to smack it in? Because it doesn't work. It just, boom, it splatters back at me. It's dumb. And I use about 1 million of them anyway, so it's stupid. Then they have this thing. I never use my hands. I use my elbow, this like condom thing that goes around. It never sticks tight to the toilet. Who are they? And first of all, the people had to manufacture this somewhere, you know, wherever, in America, in Costa Rica. Who knows where these people were at before they made these condom toilet things? You know, they could have been, you know, milking a burro, and, you know, who knows? And then they put it in a box and they ship it to Atlanta, and then, you know, you're sitting on this crap, you know. So, and it never stays on. It reminds me, tragically, of you know. And by the way, kids, if you're watching, and any adult, safe sex obviously is. I mean, there's no, you have to. But unfortunately, though, you know, I hear the safe sex all the time, but. The condom, I cannot maintain an erection very well. Once I put that on, I go flash it so fast. It's almost like, you know, it's like half of it hangs down. It's like, it's like, you know, like Scrooge at midnight with that. And then, oh God, you got to pop it off. And you know, and then I say to my lover, like, you want to know why I can't get in? Look, it's like it's a nightmare. It's like having a cardigan. You know, put a cardigan on your dick, for Christ's sake. So that doesn't work. Those things don't work. So here's the bottom line. This is a sad thing to give back to humanity after all these years, but I want to just share this with you, and maybe you can use it in your daily lives and in public Johns. But if you're sitting there, if you have the courage and you don't care, and that's good for you, and you're looking at the roll. By the way, the second roll, you know, if you're looking for a meaningful life, I think it's in the second row. That iron or metal thing, I don't know. You need welders. You need people. You can't. I have never. And if you have catch a plane and you take a dump and you see the cardboard thing, well, you can't. I've never opened up that second thing. You know, you're gonna go to a courtesy phone. I just took a shit, please. I can't open up the second. You'd be humiliated. Imagine you're flying to Milan, 15 hours. Oh my. Oh, dude, what are you gonna have any peanuts? You know? Jesus Christ. So here's what I want to give to you, which is a little bit of philosophy, anal retentive philosophy. If you see the toilet paper that's, even if it's an eighth of an inch ripped, never touch it. Never use your hands, because you know what that represents? That was what that psycho was gonna go to and go, I'm clean enough. I take my Boy Scout knife, boom, I whip it off, then I grab the roll and I own the forest, man, and it's mine, you know what I mean? If I'm fine, I'll screw up the show. I hope the pains continue. Seriously. I got a physical before I did this tour. 40 cities. It was a lot of fun, and I was really primed for coming here tonight. This is a big night for me to come back to the village. And the deal is, I need this physical, and I got this doctor. Let me just listen. This is my hair, but if I lose, I'm just going to let it go, unless I can afford like a really good rug. I got to just tell you the truth. This guy has a rug, and I know his wife. I've been going to this internist for 20 years, and I am not exaggerating. ladies and gentlemen. He walks into the doctor, like, hey, Richard, how you been? Just like this. How you been? I go, and I know that no patient ever looked at his face. I think I need a coronary bypass and an appendectomy. So he goes, what makes you think that? And this is what's so crazy about it. His wife says, you know, Lou doesn't think anybody knows. How in the fucking... It looks like two wombats are, you know, having oral sex on his, you know... It's nuts. Don't people really know that people know? I mean, it's one of those secrets that it scares me a little bit. So I go to this guy. I love him, and I love the guy. He's a great guy, but I got another problem here. This is I just got to share this with you. And I'm not homophobic. I'm a liberal, whatever that means. If I alienate anybody, I don't care. I just am. Those words are now all blurred now, obviously. But the deal, though, is that I want to take this test. It's very important to get these cancer tests every year, you know, all the types. But when he puts that white glove on, when Lou puts the white glove on, the bat cave closes. That's it. It's over. Really. The Brinks, the guys who did the Brinks robbery? Oh, this is impossible. I'll never get in this fucking behind. I can't. And it's not only my skin that closes, it gets so, and again, not homophobic. It's just, maybe I'm in denial or some shit, but I mean, all I know is that I can't let him put his finger in my ass. That's the deal. And what happens is that it gets almost surrealistic. It's like the Shroud of Turin appeared once on my ass. Sedimentary rock layers from like volcanic ash. I mean, it's like crazy. And you know, he tries to fake me out. He goes, "Oh look, there's Rodin fighting moth." Oh, can't do it. Can't do it. And you know, 5 months ago, before I went on the road, this was the nadir. Love using words that I don't know what they mean. He actually had helium balloons, Richie's 3rd birthday, to try to relax me. Put on Danny K. Tubby, the tuba music, and he's dancing with me, and I go, oh, and he couldn't do it. Finally, he gets it in there, you know, he finally gets it in. So, here's what I'm struggling with psychologically. And for what it's worth, I'm a heterosexual. I think he is. It doesn't really fucking matter what we are, just as long as we're nice to one another. But the deal is, well, when he pulls his finger out of my ass, I dig the sensation, is what I'm trying to say. I dig it. Feels great. It's killing me. It's killing me because I love women, but I think now I'm a homosexual, and I feel like I feel like I'm in the closet because I like when Lou pulls his finger out of my ass, and if I was gay, I'd come out of the closet in a minute. I would just, you know, go and, you know, hi Larry, I'm gay, how are you, Larry King, you know, everybody. But I don't think I am gay. The thing, what I asked, I said, can you get the same results for the cancer thing by, you know, pulling it out without putting it in? No, I got to stick it in. So, I'm gay, is the deal. And I'm proud to be gay, but I love women. And the other part of the equation is I actually have this addiction to get a physical, I don't know, anywhere between 3 or 4 times a week, quite frankly. God. Other stuff. What do I do in the room? I'm just trying to think of what I do when I've been traveling. Nothing. I don't really leave the room much. I'm a little eccentric. And oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did that come as a surprise? Oh man, I watch sports from time to time, but I'm into watching sports that I don't understand why other people watch them, and it's like Marv Albert happens to be a friend of mine. He's a great, you know, and clearly one of the great sportscasters. But you know, he was when the Olympics were on last year. He says, "Boy, it was great, wasn't it?" I said, "Marv, no one cared. Seriously." I said, Mom, they always did the gymnastics shit. I mean, really, when they were playing like, I don't know, Egypt. I mean, when the guys are fast breaking with turbans and tassels on, and the guy had a clear dunk, and then in the middle of the layup, he would stop and bow to Mecca, and one guy schlepped a cow to the foul line, and was milking him, and I said, Mom, it's a joke. And I'm wearing Cons, and these guys, they don't wear Converse, these pros, I don't know how the kids in the ghetto can even afford these $5,000 sneakers, they come with broiler attachments and CD player. It's not fair. But I watch these things that I don't get. I'm very anal, so some of the things, like bowling. I go to bowling birthday parties, and those are fun, because you're with friends, but on TV, what is the mindset? I don't get it. I don't get it, because these people, all they do is that, from day 3, and if it's a certain split, man, I mean, I'm sorry for, how to do this, but they know where, 99.9% of the time, they put the ball in the exact friggin' place. Okay, he did it. Fabulous. And they ball 291, 286. It's just really like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. Now, it gets worse though. Golf. Now, I have a lot of golf fanatics. I don't play golf, but I watch that. Now, it's mind-boggling. I'm not rooting for this to happen, by the way, but, it's just so friggin' boring to just see that. And I sometimes hope when I'm really bored or lonely that maybe there'd be one psychotic caddy. You take all the money. I'm not rooting for a death to happen on a course, but hockey even. I sort of like hockey, but I was telling Marv too. I said, Marv, what kind of plays can they call? What do the coaches actually do? They just run around like ants out there. What are they? Time out, come in here, man. Just go out there and slap somebody. Come on, let's go. Really, I can't even, it's clearly not, But the thing that blew my mind the most was cricket. This thing is the most psychotic sport that I have ever. I was in London about 13 or 14 years ago, and I was alone, was breaking up with somebody, the whole thing. And I said, what I'm going to do today? I'm going to learn what cricket is. There was a cricket game on. I put it on like 7 in the morning. I was alone. I watched it for 13 hours. And I swear to you, I'm clueless to this day. A guy would walk out with it would look like a dyslexic bee farmer with a thing here, and then there'd be a nice-looking gentleman who just sort of walk around, and that's like an hour. That's an hour. It's an hour. It's really, literally an hour. Then, guy comes up with some kind of paddle, like some vice principal, and then the announcer says he thwacked it. I said, thwacked it. And then I says, yeah. And then nothing happened for about a day or so. And then I saw a player out, and I guess he was a fielder. His wife came with a lawyer and asked for a divorce. I'm taking the children, and he was delivered with papers and a summons. And then all of a sudden it was 10,000 to 5. And And then I was up in Toronto, and I was watching a wildlife show. I don't fish. Fishing to me would be really cool with friends. I saw the show. It was like something like Fishing with Wally or something. But fishing could be cool if you love to fish. But to watch a cat fish, what the hell is that? What is that shit? This was the show. It was a half hour. It was a half-hour show, and a guy, looked like Fess Parker's clothes, whatever that means. I certainly don't. And if I don't, why should you, really, No, he didn't look, he had the gear on and all that shit. And he said, how you doing? He was an older guy with a gray beard. Nice guy, And it said, it was called Fishing with Wally, something to that effect. And he went, hi, I'm Wally, and that's all he said. Hi, I'm Wally. Oh, then, about 10 minutes when he had the rod and the reel. And then the next word he said was, oh, gee. Nope. 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 And that was the show. And the credits started rolling. I went, no, I'm having another nervous breakdown. Because he said, I'll see you next week in Alaska for king salmon. That's a lot of fun. I was thinking about coming back after 26 years, what a celebrity means. It's really, I have a feeling what it means. I mean, if you get on a television show or something, you're a celebrity, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. When you're having trouble, with, I've been constipated since McGovern lost. So, I don't know I don't give a shit what a celebrity means, quite frankly. But there are some, to me, there are icons. I mean, I'm starstruck. I was in a theater and I saw Shari Lewis, and I went, Shari! I did. I just leaped out of my seat, and she recognized me. Oh, you're so funny. I went, oh, and then this was like I went, oh, give my love to Lamb Chop. I screamed. Oh, and she said, no, you talked to her yourself. And she pulls. She had Lamb Chop in the bag. Man, this was, check please. Really. And Lamb Chop looked good. I don't know how old Lamb Chop is, but she's in puppet years, 100,000. Shari looks great, but I think Lamb Chop had a little cloth tuck, quite frankly. But Dylan, I mean, he's like an icon. I always had this fantasy of Bob that, he would have so much sex because, I mean, he's truly one of most people's idols. I mean, but during foreplay, I would just imagine, I want you, Cambodia. All right, screw me and get out of here. I can't take this shit. I don't understand what you're talking about. But once I got like a television series, I would get like messages on my answering machine. I swear to God, the most psychotic things similar to this, like beep. Only because I was like all of a sudden seen, Beep, hi, I represent Hootie and the Blowfish, and Hootie would like to break the Yom Kippur fast with you. What? The hell is that all about? It happens. It's frightening. And then there's guys like, Wilt Chamberlain, who writes these books. That was pretty, with all due respect, he was a great ball player, but, there's a little sucks, like 20,000 women. With all, first of all, who gives a shit? I don't care less. And how could he have time to have 20,000? I mean, he would have to be, on the foul line, getting blowjobs, shopping. Hi, keep going. Yeah, I got to get some carrots, and then I got to go to the drugstore. That's good. Next, Andy, come on in. Okay, really? 25 years of this? It'd be like Gumby. There's no way. There's no way. And who cares? Why do they write that shit? I'm in my very late 40s now, and oh God, it really goes downhill fast. My nostril hair, I've never realized it really does grow after 40. I had a bad month. I looked in the mirror. And I needed hedge clippers from my neighbor. I took a shower, my hair, when it slicks back. I did, fuzz. Holy crap! I had like a Cobb salad growing out of my ear, and I tried to cut it off because it was humiliating. I couldn't even, because I thought I was going deaf, and I realized I had all this white hair growing in from way inside. The roots were coming from another planet almost, and I cut it with one of these little nostril clippers. And when you cut your ear, forget it, you bleed for decades. You can't. And my testicles now, this is the thing that's really killing my libido big time. They're growing right now. If they continue at this pace, they will be larger than my penis, which will be a sad state of affairs. And I know there's elephantitis in my family. It skips a generation. And I hate the doctor who discovered elephantitis. Maybe it was a good thing he discovered balls. Some balls are bigger than others. Quite frankly, I could care. I don't care with sizes of penises anymore, wide, tall, short. But anyway, I saw my grandfather's penis in a Miami sauna with all these other guys, and all I know is if the other balls were normal, he had it was like a void volleyballs hanging. His penis in the middle of his ball looked like Christ. It looked like Dumbo noshing on a grape. It was unbelievable. So mine are growing now because I'm measuring with one of these calibrators, and if they keep it up, I will get around. Forget Ed Begley's electric car. Ed's a great guy. He wants electric. I said, Ed, want to drive to New York? We have to leave now because we have 10 years to get there. It goes a mile an hour. I mean, he has the right idea for the environment, but this electric car business. But my balls will go faster than Begley's car. Trust me, because I will be on testicle training wheels. Drives me crazy. God. And my mother is like, I love her. I love her very much, but she is just worrying about just everything. I mean, she called me. She knew, I'm doing an HBO special, and you would think break a leg. Calls me at the hotel. I swear, I go, oh, Mother, I gotta go. Oh, is it you? She says, yeah. I said, well, what's going on? She says, it's inflamed, and hangs up. That's it, and hangs up. I'm always wrong with her. This is why I feel it's a problem. And if there was a drug that she would take, it would be know-it-alls. That would be the prescription drug. She doesn't listen. She listens in tongues, my mother. She's crazy. Yeah, I mean, she used to have like an observation complaint deck in my house. That's wrong. That's wrong. You're doing that wrong. That's no good. Like a spyglass. It's crazy, man. And I don't let my relatives come to a show, and I love them, but they just get so sucked in to what I'm doing. I brought my mother to a show, and in the middle of the show, I'm not mean-spirited, I don't think I am. I mean, I love them, but in the middle of the show, there was like 3,000 people in this auditorium, and she said, oh, he's lying. You know what that was? And all of a sudden, the schmucky light guy turned the light. I was in black, and they put it on her, and she went on a soapbox. How dare you? It was like the Lincoln Douglas debates, and it was just maybe to get attention. She had like a top hat and a cane. She started doing a show. Bullshit. But she's right on occasion. She says, people don't understand you. And I said, well, I mean, she's not exactly my target market anyway, but I mean, and she's right. I had a parrot that committed suicide because they try, and I would come in, I go, oh, shit, I had a bad day, nothing's working out. And the parrot would go, ah, shit, I had a bad day. He couldn't do it, and he hung himself in my house. But yeah, family reunions, they're all here in New York, New Jersey. I don't know what, this past Halloween, they didn't wear costumes because, they don't know who they are anyway, so they don't need them. I went as a well-adjusted heterosexual, so I was cool. What's your favorite holiday? Ours should be Codependency Day, really. We have like an official Louis antacid. Zantac is our antacid. I mean, it really is. It's, and everyone is taking these mood drugs. And believe me, people in glass houses, I don't want to step on your medication toes, trust me here, but my mother says, what about Zoloft here? No, I don't want, because I don't anything that reminds me of like a Jewish uncle. Hi, Phil Zoloft, I'm in the schmata business. I go to this barbecue. I got to talk about it. It was Prozac, and I don't have any judgment on it. I'm sure it helps some people, and I read all the other stuff too. But I fly 3,000 miles to a barbecue with 100 people, my family. My mother doesn't take anything, and she says to me, "Look at them." I go, "Yeah, what's wrong? No one's arguing." And they were sort of walking, literally like their hands were extended. It was the most. I said, what's happened? And she likes to dish. She's so cool. She says, everyone takes Prozac now. Did you take? I said, no, I don't take anything. She says, I don't either. So I said, this is weird. No one's talking, just sort of walking around. So I looked, they had like 3-4 hibachis, and the coals were ready, man. It was like, really, when it's ready to put that steak on. And so I called my cousin. I said, Kathy, can I ask you a question? There's no food here. There's no food. Do you understand? There's a barbecue going on, and there's no food. And she looked down and she went, oh, next time. What a drug. Holy moly. Next time, ladies and gentlemen. It's just basically, what I really feel like I got from my family was low self-esteem, which it runs deep. It started with my grandparents. They lived in this condo in Florida, Death Wish Village, which they were. Then they moved and lived with us for a while. That's a thrill, And my grandfather was actually a pretty bright guy. He was a philosophy teacher, but his theory was, I suck, therefore I am. It was all screwed up. Told me to believe in an inferior being. He was really, and Grandma would never talk 15 years. Pretty scary, man. Just rocking and knitting and not talking, okay? So it was pretty frightening for me. I went, Grandma, how are you? Nothing. Just nothing. And finally, she passed away, and it turned out she was knitting a suicide note. So, I don't know where to, you know, I think, you know, this being riddled with low self-esteem is really, it's caused me a lot of problems. I actually need to slam dance before I go to visit my family in a pit, you know, in front of their house, just to work off the tension. It's just really a scary. The games we used to play. I have a couple of friends here from elementary school. Really, thanks for coming, you guys. They know the games that my family would play. Like we had like no pride parades. You know, we'd all get into pintos and back into walls to see who blew up first. You know, the tricks. My dog would go, "Be somber." The dog would go, like, "I don't know." Crazy, man. That designated losers when they went to Atlantic City was sad. All right, Cousin Wally, you're going to lose today. Okay, fine, whatever you say, you know. Telephone, that great game, telephone. It could start out, you know, Cousin Dave got to law school. By the time it got to me, it's a tumor? Where is it on his neck? Really deep in the family. Woodstock, I could have gone to Woodstock, man. I mean, I idolized Hendrix, and my friends, some of them are even here. Where I lived in North Jersey, they beep beep. You know that. By the way, I don't do any impressions. That was supposed to be a car horn. That's maybe the single most humiliating thing I've ever done. I'm not against impressionists or prop comics or anything. I just use my adolescence as a prop, quite frankly. But I actually feel bad for prop comics who have to go to airports and go, "Where the fuck are my giraffe dolls?" You know, when if they don't come around, it would scare the shit out of me traveling. But Woodstock, they beeped the horn and they said, "Come on, we're going up, you know, it's the Love and Peace and Hendrix and the Who and the whole." I walked out of the house and I went, I'm in Englewood. It's like, you know, 2.5 hours from Wood. I went, "I don't know, it's drizzling." And, so I went to see, what was it, Herbie and the Love Bug. Holy shit, I saw Fred McMurray instead of Hendrix and the Who. I could kill myself. I mean, I love Fred McMurray. The Who. Boy, I just was thinking about it when I left the hotel to come here, how they used to do the stories about how they would trash their rooms. You know, I don't mean to stereotype this, but, you know, I guess I am. You know, me, you know, one day when I kick over a sofa when I leave a hotel room like a rock group, you know, a Jew trashing a room was like, "I'm going to throw this floss right in the middle of the room and then run out." I think I want to talk about, it's late here, but we're in New York, so it doesn't matter. But I want to talk about love, and if it's okay with you, I live alone. Must come as quite a shock to you after seeing me for the past. I have fear of intimacy. It's something that I'm not happy about. I'm very ambivalent. It's deep-rooted. I don't know, or deeply rooted. I rarely use an adverb correctly, but. I do get an erection. Luckily, it's in the shape of it's in a question mark for openers, and it points to the nearest counseling center. And I remember when I first got my first erection, my brother wouldn't tell me there was a little, you know, crook in it. I went, "Oh shit, it looked like an aborigine, kind of like one of those shaman things." I went, it was like a cubist, like a Picasso penis. I figured like I really want to date you, but I have to screw your girlfriend here because, you know, I never understood what that thing was. You know, it scared me a little bit, but. I'm lucky to even get an erection right now, quite frankly. At my age, really, I swear, I mean, I'm not whining, but if I get an erection with a flag that would come out with just a little note like, "Hey, really, thanks for the opportunity." I'm not kidding. I mean, I would practically need a barbershop quartet to come over my house and sit by the bed and go, "He'll get aroused, you know. I don't care what's normal anymore. I used to, you know, that adolescent notion. Maybe it does matter, but, you know, well, what's normal about anything? Not forget about penises, but what's normal about, you know, what we should do? You know, you read, like, sometimes in those pie charts in USA Today, like, how many times people screw Native Americans, blacks, whites, Jews, you know. It's bullshit, man. No one knows. No one knows what happens behind closed doors. I mean, if you go to a dinner party, let's say you're having problems with your lover, and you go to a dinner party, and they're at the front door, and they go, "Goodbye," you know, like Roy and Dale, you know. And then you get in the car and you quietly have this little inner dialogue. "Shit, man, they got this communication going, man. Shit, man, you know, they know exactly what they can anticipate what the other person's saying. Fuck it, man, we're never going to have that. That's bullshit. You don't know what's going to happen. This guy could close the door, put on a leather Peter Pan mask, and piss all over the house, you know, and it's crazy. I don't believe it. I just want to just do what's good for me, and what I shouldn't have done is gone to the Knick locker room. Patrick, what a great game. Holy, what is that all about? Oh, I never saw a penis with an escalator with guys throwing peanuts. That didn't help me. That was a mistake. I go to the games, but I don't go to the locker rooms anymore. I know it's adolescent, but it's silly. But this fear of intimacy, if I love somebody, I hope they find out through word of mouth, quite frankly. The best sexual position, by the way, if you have a fear of getting close, is if you're both on top. I don't know if you knew that, but... and if I, during foreplay, if someone will say, if I'm with somebody, like, oh, boy, I love you, Richard. No names! I said no names! How many times? Or if I say, suck me, take me, lick me. Okay, read it back to me. It's really... It's like a memo. It's a trick. And I can't even have a decent orgasm. I can't even scream out anything good other than the best I did was like Lou Gehrig's speech. Tonight I feel like the luckiest man. And then dating, in my 40s, I did a lot of divorcees. Fine, I don't mind having the kids, but the kids hate me because I'm not the father. Knock on the door, see a pretty little girl, and they go, "Oh, Mom, it's the frightened Jew womanizer." Wait a minute, I'm not a womanizer. Then I think about, and this is another penis thing, but this dawned on me. In college, I saw the natural childbirth thing. Listen, I know it changes your life. I have friends that change. When you're a baby, they're the greatest. But as a man, the anatomical thing, when I saw the baby's head pop out in college, I ran 3 states, literally. It looked like, with like the filter fish gel and the ropes. I will never be there with my wife. I'll have some innocent. Hi, are you busy? Can you get it? There's no way. Plus, when I see the vagina expand, I went, does it go back? Because, I think I have a decent penis. I don't know what a decent penis is. Maybe it means it gives to charity or something, But, when I see the vagina, my penis would just go in there, look around, a little window shopping, and go home. Can't live with myself, but I also can't be with the wrong people. Shouldn't it be a way to know if you're with the wrong guy, the wrong woman? Nostradamus knew. Page 11 for me, he said, beware of Hitler, Mussolini, and Becky. This cat knew. Why didn't I read that? Young is too good. I feel like a pervert. I can't date someone in their 20s. Now I'm like twice their age. It's like I go to a bookstore. I met some really beautiful, struggling actress, and, I said, I'm looking for this collection of, where's J.D. Salinger? And she went, oh, he doesn't work here. But I found that, there are some things to stay away from. Possessiveness really sucks. I was with this one woman, and I think she just wanted to get married. I was only with her for a couple of weeks, and, she had an orgasm, and she literally shrieked out, "Are there any good schools in the neighborhood?" The whole thing about being with the right woman, I just can't. I don't even know what being good in bed means anymore. I think moving means something, This ex didn't move. She didn't move. If she was literally on top of me during intercourse, I could have built a house of cards on her. If I would have had her arrested for loitering, that would have been... it was such a shitty relationship, I thought she was going to murder me. I thought she was always going to come back and murder me. I actually hired a fat lady to come over my house and sing. That's how screwed up I was. Performance, premature ejaculation. What's the big deal? I think it's a great thing. I think it shows love. Like, whoa, it's so great to see you. I missed you, I don't cover up any. I used to do show tunes like, whoops, there it goes, and, I watched the Discovery Channel for positions. The hummingbirds, boy, they come so fast. I feel bad for them. That poor Mrs. Hummingbird. It's like the guy, whoop, boom. The kid's born, they cut to a cemetery. The whole family's wiped out in about a second and a half. Men hear this a lot. And I'm sure a lot of it's true. I don't know what the ratio is, but, that men are, just pigs and are led around by their peanut. I saw this one thing on Discovery Channel, and everyone's voice was Donald Sutherland, which, he's a car, he's a lion, he's hilarious. And a brilliant actor to boot. But at any rate, the lioness was giving birth to like 3,000 little lions. I don't know what they're called. And the male lion was like humping a zebra behind a tree. Yeah, he should have like a silk shirt on with a Rolex, and yeah, I'll be right with a cell phone. And the rhinos, holy God, they need 100 yards to get an erection. It's the most amazing thing. And it's incestuous. They do it with family. It's really sad for the little rhinette, whatever they're called. She's like, come on, Phil, huh? And the rhino, the male, you know, he counts off like a, you know, and he runs. I don't know how he does this. Boom, he should get points just for hitting a target, you know? I've quit caring. I bring an Etch-a-Sketch to bed now and just say, I used to be able to get in this position in 1969. You know something? I try to learn about sex from my family. And if I ever have children, I would trust now, being older, I'd be able to talk a little more about it. But, you know, and it's easier now than back then. But oh, God, you know, I was a virgin, I was panicked, and I remember one day my mother was making the mighty fine pudding. I smell it to this day, with the nuts in it. My father was there. I said, Dad, what's a vagina? That was his reaction to vagina. Oh, and he took me into the basement like it was like the Khrushchev summit with Eisenhower, and he slammed his shoe down on a, this is the direct quote. My father said, a vagina is an aerial view of geese. I went, what the? It is? I mean, I didn't know. I really didn't know. So I joined the Audubon Society. I'm licking those fucking, till my tongue was like a fried, well, not fried, you know, one of those apricot things, whatever. You know. Then I made the big mistake of saying, what's a clitoris? Oh, God, clitoris. He took me to another city to tell me. He said a clitoris was a mouthwash. I went, a mouthwash? Aerial view of geese. The only way I could get laid was to find 3 women walking in formation to Florida, gargling. That was it. This clitoris, by the way, is what a jewel, what a lucky thing for you women. I would have 1 million orgasms a year. I mean, it's so, I never found an orgasm, I'm sorry, no, well, actually, I think I had a simultaneous orgasm once, but my ex said she didn't feel part of it, which was sort of a drag, but I have never located, sadly, the true, I don't think. I have pictures of it. The clitoris. I bought those books as an adolescent. It described it's a little pea. It comes out of a canoe. It looks like this. It comes out. It waves. It hides. It's temperamental. You got to rub it this way. Otherwise, it might slap you every now and then. I never found it. Even in college, I went with this really great girl, sorority girl. I had some engineering student bring over some NASA equipment. I know this is not romantic. I got to find this thing. It's killing me. I'd buy those vibrators so fast. Holy Christ. I would bring them to work. Oh, Christ. I mean, forget about it. It's like it's the best thing. And they lie. Talk about truth in advertising with all the shit in the world. We're so lucky to I feel really lucky that I'm here and that you came to see me and that we're alive and everything. But I'm telling you something, you know, with all the crap in the world and I mean, I don't want to get too maudlin here, but to use a vibrator for an orgasm and they should put on the box, have a good cum. Ink. Boom. You ever read the manual? They have like a woman looks like Pearl Buck with that hat, using it as like a hedge clipper, you know? It's a joke. If I was a woman, I'd put it in my pocket. I'll go, what do you want, the new Jimmy Dean stamp? Yeah, I'll go get it. No, it's in the other county? It's fine. Woo, woo, woo. That's when I would get surgery in L.A. I would get a clitoris, a removable one. I want to be a man, but I would have one put on my head. It would be the Lewis Clitoris Bakery, basically. It'd be about at least 3 feet long. Like, it would come out, I'd take a number, like, rye bread would see it. Come, hey, how you been, Dave? Yeah, come on, Robert. Fast as, next, it would be that kind of thing. So now I'm stuck with masturbation, which is fine, but I have, low self-esteem, and, I masturbate on the road. I consider that having an affair, unfortunately. Plus, I don't feel I'm the right type for myself, which is a drag. And being ambivalent, with women, it's hurt me with masturbation. It's tragic, but even when I masturbate, I take a home pregnancy test, which is unbelievable. And you've been unbelievable, and it's been a real treat to be back in the world.